What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match preview for Real Madrid versus Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup final. It is the second Clásico, but not the last Clásico of the season, where both teams have the opportunity to win their first trophy of the season. It is the lowest ranked in terms of opportunity, of course, but we're there in the final. Might as well go out there and win it for the first time in a few years. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 8 p.m. local time, so the same time as the semifinal, and it is 1 hour earlier than usual. And this match will be taking place again, just like the semifinal, in the King Fahd Stadium in Saudi Arabia. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch will be Ricardo de Borges, and on the VR it will be Jose Luis Gonzalez. Now, the reason why the format was changed for the Super Cup, usually of course it was a winner of La Liga, winner of the Copa del Rey face each other, and it was, someone won the double, it would just be second place in La Liga, was because they wanted a longer format and they wanted to set up an El Clasico game more often. But on the fourth try, the Spanish Federation finally got their wish. They have an El Clasico final. Of course, we had an El Clasico semi-final last season. That's not what they want, though. They want the final, and of course they rinsed out the 2 games, television rights, all that sort of stuff. So this will be the first Clasico final in the new Spanish Super Cup format, and the RFEF finally getting what they want. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Real Madrid. Of course, La Liga champions, current holders of the Spanish Super Cup, current holders of the Champions League. They're one of the best teams in the world without a shadow of a doubt. Probably right now in form, you could say probably not, but on paper, they're definitely the best team in the world. And the last time we did face them was last year in La Liga, where we did lose 3-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu. I think in the match we did play well, but again, we conceded 2 chances scored, and we conceded 2 goals in the first half. Second half, we came back in the game. France scored late on. Then a Rodrigo jamming penalty gave them the easy 3 points. Now, if you look at the lineup, it will be something very similar to what we'll see tomorrow as well. That front 3 that we saw the other day, the defense is looking strong, apart from Eric Garcia, who cannot get a sniff in at the moment, and then midfield as well. So we could see a fairly similar lineup, but hopefully different outcome and different tactics on the game. Now, if you take a look at Real Madrid's last 5 matches in all competition, in the last match they beat Valencia, of course, in the Spanish Super Cup semi-final on penalties. They did lose to Villarreal 2-1 in the league. They won their Copa del Rey round 32 match 1-0. They beat Valladolid 2-0, and they also beat Cadiz before the World Cup 2-1. So since the World Cup, they played 4 matches. They have 3 wins and 1 loss, and that loss was big. Let's now take a look at the last 3 games, of course, on form. First, it was a Copa del Rey game. Can't really look much into this. There was, of course, a lot of rotation, and it was very, very close game, but in the end, they pick up a 1-0 win. I think they scored later on in the second half. You know what? Better than extra time against Intercity. Next match, of course, is that 2-1 loss to Villarreal, where Real Madrid were dirt poor in this game. They scored from a penalty. They created a few chances. Vinicius was getting down the left quite a bit, but their midfield was dreadful. Their defense is absolutely woeful as well. They were conceding a lot of opportunities, and in the end, Villarreal were clinical and walked away with 3 big points. And finally, their match, of course, a few days ago against Valencia, where they did go to penalties and win 4-3. So again, both teams have gone to penalties. They played the full 120 minutes, so there's no extra rest for any other team, or whatever the case may be. Real Madrid were very, very poor in this game. Yes, they did score first from a Benzema penalty when they conceded, I think they conceded, 30 seconds into the second half, and then no other goals until penalties, of course. They were very, very poor. So Barcelona and Real Madrid both playing somewhat below their level in the semi-final, but still somehow progressing to the next round, the final. Now, on the screen right now is the line that I believe that Ancelotti will select for Real Madrid tomorrow in the Spanish Super Cup final. Firstly, Thibaut Courtois in goal, a back 4 of Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho Fernandez, and Ferland Mendy, a midfield 3 of Toni Kroos, Valverde, and Modric, and a front 3 of Rodrigo, Benzema, and Vinicius Jr. Now, I do have a suspicion that Ancelotti could play Valverde in that right wing position and drop Rodrigo completely, but they do have some injuries and some knocks in their team. There is no Tchouaméni for them to play in that midfield, which if he was fit, I think 100%, Ancelotti would go with Valverde at the right hand wing and then play Tchouaméni, maybe probably a DM, and then Toni Kroos on the right. So they don't really have midfield options. Will they start Denis Ceballos? I don't think they will. So I do see that front 6, pretty much confirmed. Back 5, there is some doubt, or more specifically in the back four. I think Carvajal will start, Rudiger will start, Vasquez is injured, so they don't have a backup right back, and of course Fernand Mendy has been playing very, very poor for them recently, so it has been Nacho at left back, but Eder Militao did go off in their last match with a knock, so if he is fit, I would suspect Nacho to move to left back and Eder Militao to play at center back. But I think most likely this will be the case, and if this team comes up against Barcelona, I think this lineup is very, very, very beatable. But I think other than this, I can't see Ancelotti making any other changes. So overall, final thoughts on Real Madrid. They're one of the best teams in the world, probably on paper the best team based on, you know, trophies achieved over the past year. But on recent form, they haven't been that great, losing to Villarreal, barely beating Valencia in the semi-final. They do have vulnerabilities in their team. They're not perfect. They don't play good football. But the most important thing about Real Madrid is they always get the result they want. Now, in terms of players to look out for, of course, it's the whole team. Courtois in goal, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Toni Kroos and Modric in the midfield are absolutely fantastic. Benzema up front, clinical. Vinicius Jr., very, very fast, very great dribbler. So their team is fully stocked, ready to go, and they have great players across the whole entire pitch. But of course, their main tactic of play is to score chances from the very little chances that they create. They're a very, very clinical team, and that's going to be their goal against Barcelona. The defense has been very, very rock solid over the past few games. What they want to do, create very little chances, score them, and of course, control that midfield and have a good defense during this game. I think this team is beatable for sure. We do want revenge, of course, from the match that we had in the league, but it's up to Barcelona to dominate this game and, for God's sakes, finish the chances. Because again, Real Madrid's defense is fairly strong. It hasn't been that leaky this season, but they do give away a few chances, and Barcelona have to create those chances and please finish them. Time now to get into Xavi's press conference reaction. His press conference this morning, of course, he was asked a few questions from the media. This might have been the shortest press conference I have seen from Xavi. I think it was under 15 minutes. Absolutely crazy, but we'll cover it. Let's get and see what he had to say during this very short presser. Came out saying the title would mean a lot, and getting it against Real Madrid would be an extra nice factor. With the title in your pocket, everything changes for the remaining time of the season. They have played more finals and have more experience, but we have to be hungry and we have to believe. I'm always worried about many aspects. There are always aspects to improve upon. It's football, and there's never perfection. It's a game of mistakes, and you have to try to minimize them and be more efficient. Ronald is defensively extraordinary. Perhaps he's one of the best in the world. He's a tremendous corrector for us. Having him gives us security and leadership. He is an option to play as a fullback tomorrow. The passion and intensity of Gavi brings is always necessary. Gavi gives us many things. He's a decisive player in the middle of the pitch and important for the team. How our shape will look and how many minutes he plays, we'll see. We have many varieties. I have not figured out the attack for tomorrow. Everyone is available, and on Ansu Fati, he came on and made the difference, but everyone must be prepared to end up starting this match. He's then asked about the rivalry between the Clasico, like, oh, back in the day with Mourinho and Pepe, it was always crazy. What about now? He's like, oh, I didn't really, Xavi says, like, oh, I didn't really like that. With Ancelotti, have a good relationship. We have coincided many times. He seems to me as an extraordinary person and a football gentleman. And lastly, Xavi was asked about the current squad and if players are about to leave. And lastly, Xavi was asked a great question by one of the journalists, and he said, look, we don't forget about names, Memphis or Kessié, whatever. If a player leaves in the next, 15 days before the window ends, do you want a replacement? Xavi responded, I won't talk about names, of course, but if someone asks to leave, another player must come in their place. But I am very, very happy with the current squad, and I don't want anyone to leave. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup final tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best with this lineup, and I think it will be fairly easy to pick. Of course, we did play a few days ago, and against Real Madrid, he usually picks the same personnel, and I think that Xavi will go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think he'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four with Sergio Roberto, Araujo, Kounde, and Jordi Alba, midfield three with Frankie de Jong, Gavi, and Pedri, and a front three of Ousmane Dembele, Lewandowski, and Ansu Fati. So from the last lineup against Betis, I think he makes one change, and that is Ansu Fati coming in for Raphinha. I do think there is a very good chance he plays Araujo at right back and then Christensen as a center back. Apparently, according to rumors, that is going to be the case, but I don't know. I have a funny feeling that he may start Roberto there. I think it is suicide to start Roberto there, but you know what? To get this lineup prediction right, sometimes you got to go a bit rogue. Of course, Ansu Fati came on, played very well. Raphinha was I wouldn't say poor, but he was, he was average. I wouldn't say above average either. Midfield 3, rock solid. Let's hope that De Jong and Ousmane Dembele are both fit to start this game, because of course they were subbed off against Betis with discomfort. Same center back partnership, Jordi Alba again, no Alejandro Balde, which I think is disappointed, and of course the best goalkeeper in the world on current form, Ter Stegen, in goal. And that's not something that Xavi Hernandez will select for this match, but of course let me know in the comments below what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach, and I have made a few changes from my lineup prediction for Xavi, and I've gone this lineup on the screen right now. I've gone with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Araujo, Christensen, Kounde, and Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of De Jong, Gavi, and Pedri, and a front 3 of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Ousmane Dembele. Now, in my match preview for the Betis game for the semifinal, I said for Xavi's lineup, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And that's my mindset for that front six, the midfield and the attack. I think, they played well, they flowed, the flow was good. I wouldn't, chop and change and bring in Ansu Fati just because he played well. I understand that, but I think, the fluidity between this team, they play regularly. I want them kind of, build chemistry a little bit. But of course, the back line was terrible, and we need to break that down, and we need to fix it. So I would bring Alejandro Balde in at left back, and I would bring Christian in for Roberto, moving Araujo to right back to absolutely shut down Vinicius Jr. And also that means Ter Stegen will walk out with the captain's armband. I think that's very important after playing very well, of course, in the last match, man that match, saving the team, him walking out, leading the team to the final, I think will be very, very impactful as well. And that's the lineup that I would select for this match. But of course, let me know in the comments below, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? Now, again, I've bottled it. I've gone with just Barcelona to win and no score prediction. I think anything can happen in this game, literally anything. But I do see in the end, when the referee blows that final whistle, whether it's in extra time, penalties, or in the full 90, Barcelona will be victorious. I would not be surprised if this goes all the way to penalties. I think if it does go all the way to penalties, it will depend on how the match goes. If Barcelona dominate, I will be confident for penalties. If we're not, then maybe Madrid. Both teams already did a penalty shootout beforehand, so the teams and the coaches can analyze what they've done and all that sort of stuff. I think it will mostly come down to which team shows up, because we saw in the both semifinals, Real Madrid did not show up whatsoever. They got away with it. Barcelona only played a solid 20 minutes, and then for the rest of it, they were absolutely dreadful. It depends who shows up. If both teams are mediocre, this can go all the way to extra time and penalties. One team plays better, I do see them walking away with the victory, and I do think that'll be Barcelona. I think, in 90 minutes, I can see this being a very low-scoring game, 2-1, 2-0, something like that. If it goes to extra time, maybe you can add a goal or two. But I think Barcelona will get the job done in 90 minutes and win this match by 2-0. But of course, let me know your score predictions down in the comments below. So that was my match preview for Real Madrid versus Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup final. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to first do, of course, is your score prediction or match prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, why did I pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi would go with? What would you go with? You're the manager. Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow after the match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead. First chance to win a trophy in a year and a half. Hopefully we get the job done. It'll be even sweeter, like Xavi said, against Real Madrid. Take care and Forza Barca.